Let's say that my reproductive efficiency is getting really high and I'm being profitable. Do you think it's better to cull older cows and maybe introducing new genetics or better genetics, maybe through embryo transfer? Or do you think I should consider maybe more beef semen on my dairy?
So, Jennifer, thanks. This is a very good question for which I do not have a definite answer at the moment, though we're working on it. I do have a PhD student who is very good, and she is working on a sophisticated model that will become a decision support tool that could respond scientifically and hopefully systematically this question. So as you can appreciate, I mean, it needs a full cow level simulation of all the potential decisions, right? Many models that we have in the past, I mean, we cannot make decisions at the cow level. So that's an important challenge we are working now. We need to follow from the day of birth an animal until she leaves the herd and the new replacement, and what the decisions can be made on that animal. So we can account for the genetic progress, and we can account for all the phenotypic information that the cow is providing throughout her life. So what I can mention right now is that this would be heavily dependent on the farm conditions and goals. We know that a more selective culling, older or lower genetic cows, and using genomic tests, for example, will improve the genetic base of the herd over time, and that has an important economic value. But that would interact with the reproductive performance because other traits of the herd will likely have trade-offs and will need to be considered altogether. So if we do genetic tests or genomic tests, could have other important connotations in the life of the animal. So what I'm saying is we can use genomic tests to select animals early in their life. That's very well used at the moment, and that's a very good opportunity, obviously, if we have more replacements than needed being produced on the farm. But the other thing that probably we fail to recognize as well is that having that value of the genomic test will potentially give us additional information of this animal throughout her life. So we have demonstrated, for example, we can have a higher risk or less risk of diseases on those animals in addition to the reproductive performance, right? On the other hand, we know that using sex semen and beef semen has also important economic benefits. The beef semen will give us almost very quick additional benefits, but using both will also decrease the intergenerational interval at the same time that also increasing the intensity of the selection of the animals, which also play in favor of genetic progress. So it is my belief that using sex semen and beef semen, as many farmers are already doing, would show benefits in both the short term and also in the long term. And if we put on top of that genomic test and more intensive selection, we'll even get greater returns and progress in the genetic side in the long term. So likely a combination of strategies of all the sex semen, beef semen, genomics. We should put on top of that the sex beef semen as well. The embryo transfer would yield much more potential benefits to the farm. But we need to come up with a policy at the farm specific level that will maximize net return. And I mean, nowadays we need to think also on the point of view of the environment. Hopefully the same policy will also decrease environmental impacts. We know that being more efficient on the production side likely is going to be more environmentally friendly as well. So those kind of things, all those things should be consider, and we need to put also the farm goals and the potential future market conditions. So stay tuned. We should be getting that tool undergoing in the next few years. It is, I mean, the challenge here in this specific tool is, as you see, it becomes a little complicated, but we always try to do not only a model simulation that has been becomes a publishable paper, which is important, but we need to convert that, and we need to think from the beginning that needs to become a decision support tool that could be used for practical applications on the farm.